Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, this is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. Hey, how's everybody doing on this bright and beautiful Friday morning? Yeah. Did I say Friday? Yeah, I said Friday. Happy almost weekend, everyone. Hope that this audio video finds everybody doing well as always. We're going to talk today about frozen food safety. Now, oftentimes in our attempts to save money, we decide to, go to the grocery store. We do this as a regular ritual. We go to the grocery store and we pick up some, let's say, family packs of meat or whatever, and we decide it's time to divvy it up and wrap it up as best as we can and freeze it. And sometimes we're very meticulous, some of us, and we take the time to label our packages either with let's say, color-coded stickers, let's say representing the months, or we take the time and actually literally label it, writing down the information when we're putting away our food. And sometimes we just don't bother, and the food ends up going into this frozen abyss of the unknown creature. And then one day, you start cleaning out your stuff and you find this almost unidentifiable object that was once useful food. Now, I could just say that this audience that is listening right now is 99% against food waste. You wouldn't be listening to a frugal, budgetary type channel if you were not precautious about saving money. But, when we do not freeze our foods properly or whatever, effectively it is a waste of money or flavor or enjoyment of something that we already paid for and worked hard to pay for. You know what I'm saying? But today's focus is going to be on how long it is considered correct and safe to freeze certain foods. So I did a little research. I decided to go over to Google, good old Mr. Google or Mrs. Google or both. I decided to Google and check on the guidelines, the FDA. Now, this is according to the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, about the length of time of safeness with freezing some foods. And I was surprised with a couple of them, to be honest with you, but let's get started and I'll mention to you some common foods that we normally freeze. Okay. Now, if you go and freeze, let's say a roast, just, a regular beef roast, for example, did you know that a roast can last in the freezer from anywhere from 4 to 12 months? Did you think it was longer, or did you think it was shorter, or is that about the range that you do that? So keep this in mind, 4 to 12 months that you should be able to safely freeze a roast in your freezer. Now, when it comes to freezing steaks, for example, a steak can be kept in the freezer anywhere between 6 and 12 months. Okay? Did anybody think it was longer? Do you go longer? Sometimes we think just because something's in the freezer that it lasts forever. In some cases, some things are indefinite, but in some cases, not quite. And in some cases, the worst thing that happens is you just kind of lose the texture of something. Not that it'll harm you in any way, but it won't be as pleasant or the way that you would, for example, most normally enjoy your food. Okay. Now, when it comes to the case of a frozen ham, now what do I mean by frozen ham? Okay, if you want to freeze a ham that's already been processed, for example, it's already processed and it's already packed, factory packed, and you have not opened it yet. Pretty much, now, this is one article said 12 months would last in a freezer, and yet another article said indefinitely. So to me, when I see answers like that scattered, to me, the jury's still out on that one when it comes to the frozen ham. So use your best judgment. But one thing that both articles that I saw said that pretty much the worst thing that would happen is that if you let it go too long, that you're going to lose like an enjoyable or pleasant texture. And, that defeats the purpose. You purchase the food to eventually consume and to enjoy. So it's very, very important to always keep a good inventory, okay? Now, let me switch gears for a second. Let's talk about hot dogs, okay? Hot dogs. Now, suppose you buy a package of Frankfurters, you open it up, and of course you're going to rewrap it, and you're keeping it in your refrigerator because you figure, well, gee, you may want another hot dog during the week. How long do you think it should stay open in the refrigerator section? How long do you think? Well, guess what? Open packages of hot dogs can last 1 week, okay? 1 week in the refrigerator. Some of you might think it was longer. No, 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 no. 1 week. But unopened, get a load of this. Unopened, 2 weeks in the freezer. I mean, not freezer, excuse me, please. 2 weeks in the refrigerator, unopened. I would have dunked, it would have been a little longer than that, but not that I do that. No, 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 no. Because mine go in the freezer. So what I like to do, this is what I do. Because sometimes it's just easier, let's say, to get a little bit of aluminum foil or those sandwich baggies and just wrap up. Let's say you figure an individual probably eats 1 or 2 Frankfurters, right, at a serving. So I like to wrap them up in like packages of 2 in the freezer. Because what I generally do is I boil them up when I cook them. It's the least caloric way to do it. It's a lot easier. You could take it directly from freezer and boil it up, which makes it very convenient. Don't have to worry about defrosting or anything like that. But the time length as far as keeping a Frankfurter safely in your freezer is actually 1 to 2 months. Don't ask me why. I thought it would be a slightly little longer than that, but maybe it's just out of habit. So therefore, that's a little bit of a surprise, right? I don't know, unless you already thought that. I thought maybe it would have been 3 months, but it's about 1 to 2 months according to the Food and Drug Administration. Okay, next, hard cooked eggs. And this is assumingly in the shell, for example, hard boiled eggs. How long do you think you should keep that in your refrigerator? Well, the answer to that is 1 week. 1 week. Now, generally speaking, they say eggs do not freeze well. Well, I don't know. I found a few videos on YouTube that defies that. And I conducted an experiment once, and I did freeze raw egg, and there's a certain method of doing it, and it was just fine. And I ended up making a frittata out of it, like in between trips to the grocery store. And I just needed, an egg. And there is a way to follow freezing it. And if you follow it correctly, you're just fine with it, in my honest opinion. But that's my opinion. That was my experience. And that was following some videos here on YouTube. But I thought that this would be a little bit of interesting information for you. You could go, on to further research for chicken, and for fish. And what is your general rule of thumb when you freeze stuff? Let us know. Let us know in the comments section below. Thank you so much. And in the meantime, this has been Jan from New York City. Thank you so much for listening. Why? Because I really do appreciate whose time? Your time. Don't forget to come back the next time, and I look forward to speaking with you again real soon. Have a great day.